like every artist, my work has changed. I started in the 90s. I was doing a lot of collage work. I was doing collage and painting. I was doing a lot of self-identity work, talking about feminism and what the media told us we were supposed to look like as women, raising two daughters by myself and trying to figure out what I was supposed to look like as a woman and what I wanted my daughters to think of as women. But since we've been here in this studio, and I lost my mother in 2010, and I lost my grandmother in 2009, and it had a big impact on me, bigger than I thought. And having a space to make work here, my work has become very assemblage driven, sort of sculptural 3D work. I still do collage work, but I'm started doing the assemblage and calligraphy work as well. I work a lot on, as I mentioned earlier, there's women's work is involved. There's a lot of stitching. There's objects that, everyday objects that people forget that they leave behind. There's scissors, there's needles, there's thread, there's fabric, there's things that maybe you would leave around your house. You touch them, you leave your essence in them, and you forget about them. I do a lot of like garage sales, and I just pick up all these tchotchke things, but then they end up in these wooden boxes. I started using a lot of dried flowers as well. For me, it's about the essence that people leave behind. Grief and loss have sort of found their way into my work. I know we're going to talk a little bit later about the things we're working on now, but for some reason, the work that I'm doing now is really about it's like, you know, again, it's the stuff that we leave behind. The work that we do, the work that women do especially, I think a lot of my work is about women's identity. It started off with what media tells us we're supposed to be as women, what we're supposed to look like, you know, the right lipstick, the right hair. But now it's gone a little bit deeper. And it's about the work that we do, the essence that we leave behind. It really started with losing my mother, and I realized I didn't really know much about her. I didn't know what she wanted to be when she grew up. I didn't know what was important to her, and I can't ask her anymore. And that sort of began to really affect me. And I didn't think about it while I was making work. Now, as I look at the work, I'm realizing, oh, that's what I'm working on. So I'm making jewelry boxes, but it's full of fabrics and threads and needles and things like that. So that's the work that I'm making. There are a lot of assemblages, there are a lot of boxes, there are a lot of fabrics, a lot of things that I try to make them look as if they might be something you would have found in your grandmother's, your great-grandmother's house, stuffed away in a box somewhere. You have no idea what the story is, and you have to make the story up. That's really what my work is about right